Ryan Garcia could be facing a 6-month suspension. Obviously, do I want to see Ryan Garcia obviously get suspended from the sport of boxing? No, of course not, because I think Ryan Garcia, in his performance against Devin Haney, put on one of the most exciting kind of upsets in the sport of boxing that I've seen in a minute. Maybe since Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. Some people are going, all time saying Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. Maybe not to that extent, but ultimately it was a shocking outcome for us all, and we were all a little bit mesmerized by Ryan Garcia's performance against Devin Haney. And ultimately, if it wasn't done the right way, if this was done intentionally by Ryan Garcia, I feel like he should have to deal with the consequences. A positive test is a positive test. But, something weird tells me that Ryan Garcia didn't intentionally do this. Two things can be true. Ryan can test positive, but he can also not do it intentionally. And you guys gotta think about the flip side of it as well. I would say that you have to look at it from Devin Haney's perspective and kind of empathize with him, because you look at Devin Haney, you're talking a world champion, a blue chip prospect coming into the sport of boxing, and then ultimately working his way up, earning those belts, doing it the right way on a strict regimen. And you got to feel for him, because at the end of the day, as much as I like Ryan Garcia, these are the facts that he did test positive, and we can all question the legitimacy of whether or not how this much of Ostarine was in it. The nanograms of 60 times the allowed limit for it to be in your system. You can say whatever you want about that. I'm not here to talk about that, but you can't undo the beating that was put upon Devin Haney, and it kind of sucks. It's also kind of sad for Devin, because if you guys think about it, I'm putting my like for Ryan Garcia aside, because I still want to see him fight. I still think that he's entertaining and he has a big fan base, and I do think he's going to fight again. But we also have to remember, look at Devin's perspective, and if this had happened the other way around and Devin was the one that tested positive for PEDs, would people have the same energy and stand by Devin the way that a lot of people are standing by Ryan Garcia? Maybe not. So I'm just trying to think. I feel like in some of my videos I've been a little bit biased against Devin Haney, but I also want to give him, I don't want to say credit, because I always give him credit. It's just, I also understand where he's at. It sucks to lose that O, and a lot of people are going to say Devin Haney's fans are crybabies. They got to get over it. Yeah, but ultimately you guys got to remember that Devin may not be the same after that fight, and if PEDs are involved, then it is an issue. It's very possible that Ryan Garcia gets a 6-month suspension minimum, and it could be even as far as 2 to 3 years. We don't know. Probably around 2 years at maximum. But still, no matter what, if Ryan Garcia did test positive, that's not good. Like that's something we shouldn't be applauding in the sport of boxing. But Ryan Garcia is going to have the chance to prove his innocence. He's going to be able to say whether or not he took the PEDs intentionally and how it got into his system. He's going to have to prove that. That's ultimately what it is. That's why the sport of boxing has had these tests for so many years. And no matter what, no matter how much money Ryan Garcia makes for the sport of boxing, what's happening right now isn't right. Like a lot of people are standing with Ryan Garcia, and then I'm being a hypocrite, because I part of me wants to believe that Ryan didn't do this intentionally. His words show me that this is a little bit weird. He did test positive the day before and the day of the fight. So for me, I do have a weird feeling, and this is just an instinct thing. They say trust your instincts, and we're given facts that he did test positive, but part of me is like, it seems weird. It seems like a weird situation, a little bit suspect and fishy to me. So, like I always say, we got to wait for the real verdict to come out, whatever the New York Athletic Commission, rules to the outcome of the fight. Is it going to be overruled into a no contest instead of a Ryan Garcia win? We'll see what happens with how they determine what the outcome is. But we heard the head of the NYAC step down, and it plays into a big narrative of why would the head of the New York Athletic Commission step down, when they're literally about to deal with the ruling of Ryan Garcia, whether or not he's guilty, and then obviously the suspension. Because you guys got to think about it, like, these people are going to have a target on their back if they vote Ryan Garcia guilty. And at the end of the day, positive is positive. So I feel like we can't just give Ryan Garcia a pass, you know what I mean? Like, as much as I like Ryan, we also can't give him a pass. As a fan of Ryan Garcia, as someone who enjoys watching his fights, I thought he put on a great performance, but obviously if it wasn't done the right way, then it should be overruled. And a positive test indicates that there was something in his system, and that's it. There's no if this, if that. So at the end of the day, it's not my decision to make, but you got to think about Devin too, because he's gone through everything. Like, he's gone through everything, all the adversity in one night. So for him, you know, if Ryan Garcia's PEDs, whatever was in his system, the Ostarine, if that impacted the fight and really did make that much of a difference to the point where Devin wouldn't have taken a beating without the PEDs, and I still think Ryan beats Devin. Let me make that very clear. This particular matchup, I have to go with Devin Haney, but I got to be real too. I got to tell both sides, and I think that if the PEDs did have that much of an impact, and we'll never know, we can't say if Ryan Garcia wasn't on PEDs, he would definitely still beat Devin Haney. I think that, but at the end of the day, we don't know. You can't say that definitively that Ryan would win, because you ultimately don't know. And so it's a very complex situation for Devin Haney, because after all of this, you know, will he even be the same fighter? Like let's say this is ruled a no contest and Devin Haney gets to keep his O. All right, great. We still saw what happened to him, and not only that, it doesn't matter, because you know that everyone gets embarrassed at some moment in the sport of boxing. You know, even if you haven't lost, even Floyd Mayweather has been embarrassed to some degree. But for Devin, you know, it's all about how he comes back to the sport of boxing. You know, is he that same fighter? It's not about whether or not, you know, he has that jab. Is he still able to take a punch? Is he still able to compete at the highest level? Is his psyche right? Is that level of confidence everything it used to be before the Ryan Garcia fight? Because imagine that was all taken away, and in the process, you know, it wasn't done on an even playing field. You know what I mean? And people are gonna bring up the 3 pounds as well, and also add on to that. But you know, Devin and his dad also have to take responsibility for stepping in that ring, knowing that Ryan Garcia was 3 pounds over the weight limit, because they could have said, no, we're not fighting. But because it was Ryan Garcia and they had a feeling that, you know, they'd be able to beat him easily, they thought that 3 pounds wouldn't make a difference. That wasn't smart from them. In my opinion, that wasn't a smart decision to make. And in the sport of boxing, when you cut that weight, when you cut the last 3 pounds, it's the hardest 3 pounds to get off. So Devin Haney's had history of, he's never missed weight, but at the same time, it always shows in his physique that, you know, the cheeks are sucked in, he looks very skinny, he looks gaunt. So that tells me that it was hard for him to make 35, and it was no different at 140. You know, he thought after the Regis Prograis fight that he looked good and strong in that fight, but this was still a tough weight cut. Even though he got to do it for the first time against Regis and came back against Ryan Garcia, tried to do it. He got it. He hit 140, but still, you know, didn't look physically well. He didn't look physically strong, in my opinion. So I'm not trying to make excuses for Devin Haney, and I'm not saying that, you know, Ryan Garcia could be innocent. But the truth of the matter is that no matter what any of us say, that test was positive. And, you know, it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter if you say, oh, it was this much, it doesn't influence. You don't know. You're not a scientist. You know, how can I give you the credibility of saying, you know, you don't, it doesn't make an impact? You don't know, you know? Like, everybody is different. Everybody has their own story. Everybody thinks that Ryan's guilty. Some people think Ryan's innocent. A lot of people think Ryan's innocent. And I would argue that more people think that he's innocent than guilty. So it's a tricky situation, but at the end of the day, we got to hold Ryan Garcia accountable, because we got to treat him like, no matter if he's a superstar, and I know that he's going to go on to fight again. I know he's going to make millions of dollars. He's going to be in a lot more mega fights, but still, he should be held accountable for that positive test. I'm not saying that he's a cheater. I'm not going to call him a cheater, but if you test positive, that's not allowed. So if he can't prove that he did it unintentionally, and that the PEDs and the traces of Ostarine got in his system without him knowing, or he did it accidentally, if he can't prove that, then, you know, that should definitely be overturned. That calls for an appropriate consequence and repercussion, like a suspension. That's just the truth. But the truth is that does a 6-month suspension even do anything to Ryan Garcia? These fighters don't fight 6 months after their fight anyway. So if Ryan gets suspended for 6 months, he's still going to be able to fight, at the end of the year potentially. So if you look at it right now, it's May. So you go June, July, August, September, October. No, he could fight in like December, right? So it just doesn't. I don't really think it affects him, but I do think we should also, understand the fact that a positive test is a positive test. And anyone who knows boxing, anyone who knows the sport, knows that we have these tests for a reason. Otherwise, why would we have tests? And why are PEDs banned from the sport? Because you can't do it. But ultimately, I hope Ryan Garcia is able to clear his name, but like I said before, a positive test is a positive test. So we'll see what happens with Ryan. I hope he figures this out, finds a way to clear his name and make this all go away. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about the whole situation and what should happen to Ryan Garcia in terms of suspension. Should he get suspended, or should they just, sweep it under the rug and kind of give Ryan a slap on the wrist? Because that seems like where it's headed. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.
That's going to do it for another NASFIGHT Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.